Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we are here to take a look at between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of ourselves. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see changes, we have to make changes within inside of ourselves. And that's what we're here to do today. Today is the release and rebuild spread. This is one where we use the feminine energy inside of self to release something and the masculine energy inside of self to rebuild it. Every person is composed of these two things. So don't be mistaken, this is not gender. You can learn information about other people from both sides of self. And really, if your focus is on understanding yourself, your relationships will improve so much. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Gina. Thanks for coming. I wasn't here yesterday because I was very tired. Because I had fun the night before I went out to shows. It was really fun. We went to the Silver Lake Lounge and saw 3 bands again because my friend has a residency there for the next couple of weeks, for the whole month of December. And then because I was a glutton for punishment, I disobeyed Ted Mosby's mom's rule about 2 a.m, which is nothing good ever happens after 2. After 2 a.m., I got some pretty shocking news for me because I was in extremely hardcore denial about the situation, about the person I had focused on for 13 years. And how little he actually gives a shit about me. It was a lovely evening. But you know what? It was actually a lovely evening because I was so, because I had done so much work and also was mildly prepared for the tower moment. I just didn't expect it to be what it was. But basically, my friend, who I have made recently, told me, oh yeah, that person just fucked somebody a month ago on my bed in my house. And I was like, cool, classy move. Peace out. So I was like, what the hell? And my whole twin saga was just exploded in my face that evening. Shocking news for me, but I took it well, actually. I just kind of stayed as present as I could. Had a really good time with my friends, went home, had a meltdown, and then recovered. And I actually do feel okay, but I was really shocked by it. I was just like, well, you know what? That helps with the release process. That truly helps me release because, ew, gross. Anyway, good for you. Glad you got your needs met. I hope that works out for you. All right, let's go and see now what we need to release. I wonder what it will be, Divine Feminine. And I honestly wasn't sure if I was even going to talk about that today. But for the fact that the cards that came out from Divine Feminine, I was like, there's no way I can't talk about that. I have to say that in order to relate this reading to my personal experience so that you can understand how to put these layers together when you listen to these readings of mine. So, love this story for me. Alrighty. Not surprisingly, the theme for this week, but not the theme for the week, but what we actually need. We come here thinking we need something, and the universe is like, but this is what you actually need to learn from these messages that you received today. And it is, it's the 4 of Pentacles, which is a card about letting go of something. So this is what I'm learning today, letting go of something. This is, and remember, it can be letting go of a person, letting go of an attachment to an outcome, letting go of a behavior, letting go of a view of something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific person, but it usually is something in the material that you're letting go of an attachment to. That's the work from the 4 of Pentacles. It's also about having a really solid and stable foundation. And I honestly don't even think that I would be able to speak or do my job today if I was the person I was a year ago and had the experience I had on Wednesday night. because I think I would have just been like, my life is over. And instead I woke up today and I'm like, I choose me anyway. Like I already chose me, so but I guess I made the right choice, kind of a thing. Also, good luck recovering from this one, because imagine I had just heard that from that person instead of from a random person at a bar in Hollywood. Like a person who I definitely trust and knows what is up. So cool. Love that. Yeah, that would have gone a little differently, right? But this, like, and it's so funny because I actually went back and watched. I usually watch Obstacles Removed before I do Release and Rebuild, because Obstacles Removed on Wednesday will have energy that feeds the release process on Friday. So I went back and rewatched it and I was like, oh my God, I literally predicted what would happen in that reading. And it did happen. And like, there's one point in that reading when the Ace of Swords comes out for the masculine, and it was like, bro, either you tell the truth or the truth will come out, because that's the thing about the truth. It always comes out, and it did. So letting go, letting go. Okay, letting go is what we really need to work on, and establishing firm, solid foundations, and not caring about reputation and not caring about external validation. Let us start with the feminine side for the release process. We're going to use the fountain. I'm going to throw the card on the floor, probably because of the disdain I feel for it. We're going to use the Fountain Tarot in the head space and the Ostara Tarot in the heart space. And this is why I had to start the reading with my awful experience of betrayal. Because listen, again, it wouldn't necessarily, it's not a betrayal that he slept with somebody. We're not together. You can sleep with whoever you want. It's a betrayal that while you're doing that, you're sending images of like engagement rings and shit to me. And I'm containing my sexual energy because of the promises that are being made. And because you told me to. Don't go to strangers. I can't, like, nothing I can do can stop me worrying about that person. Okay, fuck you, man. Like, so this is ultimate betrayal for feminine. Like, right now, the energy surrounding the release is a focus on being stuck or the separation, the pain from it, not communicating, because this is also the whale, which is communicate. So there's this no communication, and there's this tumultuous, like stormy waters here. So emotions are stirred up. And then we've got the Page of Cups, which is a lovely thing. It's true love. It's innocence. It is being heart-centered. It's new love, etc. But I think that what we're seeing is in the headspace, Divine Feminine has this true love. And this is what this true love has made the heart space feel like. Like, so she needs to release this something associated with the way that she feels right now, which we'll get the releases in the first position, but this is just the general energy. So this is also be feeling emotionally underdeveloped, not feeling completely able to handle this, or actually maybe achieving some kind of mastery because of your awareness of emotional underdevelopment in the situation. Oh, the position. I wrote the spread, like I designed the spread, and after I designed it, I'm like, I hate this position, because this position is hidden assistance, and it's usually the shit you hate. Like, I hate that, and it's like, yeah, but it's helping you. All right. So what is helping Divine Feminine is the 7 of Pentacles upright and the 5 of Cups in reverse, and I'm getting a couple layers here. Number 1, her patience is a virtue, and her optimism is helpful. Those are just the two, like, very generic, that's what's going on. The other layers include the time to harvest the seeds that she has planted is now. And the masculine energy is tending to this karmic cleanup from the mess that has been made now. So all those things, that's the hidden assistance. That the masculine is actually nurturing and tending to the connection right now and trying to repair things, trying to make things work. What past experience do I need to release? And this is so interesting. Okay, we have the Fountain in reverse, and we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. And I almost pulled the book out this morning because I thought, if I get the Fountain card, I'm going to need to reread it because I always feel like that card is so powerful. And then it's literally in the first, it's like what needs to be released. So let me grab it. So this is an additional card in the Fountain Tarot. It is the namesake of the deck itself, and it is the card of B. Instead of a number, it has the lemniscate here. It's in reverse in my hand right now, but upright, it would be up here like this. And it says identification with a role or personality, fear of being alone, mind obsessed, separation from source, resistance to or denial of reality. I can't with the universe. After walking out of the venue, like the final venue that we were at, when I finally was like, okay, now that I'm done numbing out my feelings, I'm going to actually feel the horrific pain of this ridiculous person doing this to me for so fucking long for no reason. And I called my friend and was like, I listened back the next morning to this because I was out until 5 and I was hammered. And I was like listening to this. It's brutal. Like I sent her a video like of the street and me talking because my microphone on my phone sucks and the video works better. And I'm like, it's just like the reality. It's like I was in such hard denial because I'll tell you why. Because when I read the messages about the divine masculine, he was the divine masculine was actually withholding sexual energy. So he was not engaging in sexual energy. So in one crystal clear moment that took many years, I had the moment that many of the people who come to me have when I do the readings. And I'm like, this is this divine, good morning, sunshine. I'm like, this is the divine masculine if they're a match to this. And they're like, oh, my person is doing that. And it's like, it must be karmic lesson. So I had that moment of being like, the past person, that role that I identified with, I mistakenly thought was bringing me this cup of love, is not doing that. What that masculine is bringing me looks more like this and like this. It was not love. The masculine that I reunited with recently, that person is withstanding and is honest with me and does communicate with me. So we have a conundrum for my own twin flame journey here, which really wasn't hard because I was like, oh, good. I'm like, that person is gross. Like, I can't. And the most immature thing, like, I don't want to date I actually have a 15-year-old, so I don't want to be with a 14-year-old. So that was like a little bit easy to help with the release, but obviously no less painful. This is not painful. So the divine feminine has to release identification with a role or a personality, the fear of being alone, being mind obsessed, separation from source, and a resistance to or denial of her reality. So there is something about receiving or giving love that divine feminine's got to release. Any one of those things that I just read off of that, any or all of those things, and they are all likely related anyway. So divine feminine's got to work through this now. She's got to release this. And it could be this expectation that this Knight of Cups is coming, to finally communicate or something, whatever that she has been holding on to, that it's not serving her. All right, so the next position is, what can I do right now to soothe myself? Oh my God, this card keeps coming up for me. Justice and the Knight of Wands. Very interesting to come out together, because it's about karma. Like, yeah, you act like this, you get your karma. Period. I didn't act like this. I didn't. Not this whole time. Ever. Ever. So if the shadowy Knight of Wands traits exist for your person, they can't be a match to you because you are in the light of the Knight of Wands. And that should soothe you. You might be passionate. You might have sexual energy. You might be interested in expressing that energy, but you don't do it in shadow. You do it in the light. You don't hide it. You're not inconsistent with it. You're not like coming in and out of someone's life and love bombing them. You have that on your side. You have the light of this card on your side. And that justice is always done. It is always served without you having to worry about it. Like, the universe takes care of that. And the other thing that can soothe you is seeing the truth about the person that you focus on. Seeing the truth, seeing whether they are in the light of this card or in the shadow of it. What can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? Wow. Strength and Page of Pentacles. New offers, and your own ability to control your ego, to get control of your passions, and to have a command so that you can take small steps towards whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So you're learning mastery. How to control the ego is going to allow you to achieve major transformation in your life. And the willingness to take small steps towards this a connection that will be strong and firm in its foundations. What behaviors have gotten in my way? Fantasy, refusing to walk away, and interestingly, that reciprocity card, which I saw come up in a reading I just did before for a masculine energy. So divine feminine, this Four of Cups is always about when we are just sort of fantasizing about something, holding a space for a future potential, and or focusing on the past and not receiving the offer, not receiving the cup that's right there beside us, and refusing to walk away from whatever isn't serving us and towards our higher calling. And in this case, this is coming out together. So it's like fantasizing that the masculine is going to change. And so not being willing to walk away. And so you're never accepting any of these offers that come to you. And then in the heart space, we have this generosity card, being too generous when the scales were imbalanced. So giving too much to a masculine energy that was refusing to walk towards you, but insisting that you stay and wait. Unreal. What can I do now to avoid this? Oh my God. The Three of Cups and the Lovers. See other people. This is date. Hello, Lena. Have fun. Be in union. Manifest the union you desire by releasing this old belief about your person or about your fear of being alone or whatever it is. Release it. You know, even if the person that just betrayed me so much, this person from 13 years ago, even if that is my twin, I don't want that. How could I ever trust this person right now? There's no way. Not without communication, not without rebuilding step by step a firm foundation that I could base that trust on. Because right now he just seems like a fucking dirty old man to me. Like a dirty old man. Weak sauce. Like you're going to have to step up because I just can't even see that. And I would be more than happy to release that person as my twin forever. Just be like, nah, I was wrong about that. It's someone else. Like I got that wrong because that is not a reflection of my energy. I would never, ever, ever fucking do something like that. So I refuse to believe that a person who is like going to stand by my side would do that. It just doesn't track, especially without, apologizing to me about it in person. Just letting me find out at a bar with people that he knew that I knew. The hell? Also, you better be careful, bro, because I know people in that crowd that would easily call TMZ. So, like, what the fuck? Not even being careful. Divine Feminine, that is not an energy that you wait for. So if you've been holding on to this fear of being alone or a person that was really toxic and refusing to walk away from that energy and being too generous, and you don't want to do that anymore, well, then you know what will help? Seeing other people. And it will, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm cultivating relationships with other people and seeking that trust and safety. And I feel that. I feel safe. I feel respected. I feel seen, heard. I feel so secure. This person is like, I'll do things to annoy you. You'll do things to annoy me, and we'll be friends forever. I feel like I can't say something wrong and they're going to run away like a fucking like skittish wood animal creature. Like, oh, you said something that hurt my feelings. Go fuck yourself. You can't handle that. It's me, right? So Divine Feminine's got to branch out. She's got to open up. She's got to stop letting her ego talk shit about her masculine on her live YouTube right now. But she actually has to have fun. She has to have a good time. She needs to celebrate. It's really hard. The fact that I'm even here to do this reading, I knew my ego was going to be coming out, and I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, let people see you be a real human. Let people understand. The reader feels pissed off because of this betrayal. And that's okay to feel pissed off as long as you know that it's your ego. And my mastery is that I do know it's my ego. And I'm like, all right, you can have your moment. You're butt sore. You got lied to. And it's like not even the action. It's just like how I found out. It's not even like what he did. I mean, what he did is gross, but finding out from someone else is the worst. The worst. And that's where my ego is hurt, where I'm like, that's what you did? Like, that's how you don't give a shit about me. My ego's like, you don't care about me. And like my higher self is like, yes, they do. They just don't love themselves. And then my ego's like, well, fine. Piss off though. And my higher self is like, all right, you can have your moment. So that's what you're seeing happen right now. I apologize, but I'm sure it's very enlightening. Okay. The final position is what is growing within me or within this connection as I move on. Here is the Ace of Pentacles, and it's coming out with the Two of Swords and the Two of Cups in reverse. So the Divine Feminine energy right now is not wanting to choose. She's not wanting to choose between this offer of future potential and this old relationship that wants to like see come into this union. There's like something new or prosperous that's offered. Even if this is just her own, this is like choosing her own offer, choosing to see this reflected back to her, and having to say goodbye fully to this ever physically manifesting. So this is a super painful decision. She doesn't want to make it. She's like, I like in this image, she's not actually immersed in her emotions. It's like she's trying to rise above them and emotionally detach and like be more up here in this air energy so that she could make a decision. She's put the blindfold on because she needs to go within and suss out what is blocking her from receiving an offer of new love that's clearly available to her. And she also, this can also be about her blocking any sort of energy coming from this masculine, which for me is like, there's no way unless he sees me in person, he'll be able to ever communicate with me unless he calls me. If he calls me or something, but he won't because he's a coward. Like he's not going to do that. He doesn't want evidence. Like evidence of what? Like what? Like I cannot. So that won't happen. They likely will not call me, likely will not reach out to me in any way, and likely will not see me in person. That's why I don't think this person is my twin anymore, because I just feel like the twin would not be stopped by those things. Like your person that you're meant to be with, maybe I should put it that way. Maybe the twin is stopped by those things, and that's why we don't align with them. But the person that is going to step up is not going to be blocked by any sort of like, oh, she doesn't look at my stories. Like, yeah, that's not going to, oh, now I can't be with her. Oh, she doesn't follow me anymore. Now I can't be in a relationship with her. I'm telling you, 14 years old, 14. So that's what feminine has to look forward to. The decision. Do I choose my own reflection or do I choose this old relationship? Gee, I don't know. All right, let's look at the masculine side of self. Not surprised. I need a drink. I don't have coffee this morning. The twin flame journey with a masculine like this, so draining sometimes. Damn straight it is draining. It is draining, but it makes me super strong. So I'm just like, what is this twin flame journey about? Is it about the feminine becoming like a powerhouse and like the masculine just never done anything? Because like, I don't know. Like, but that's not what I'm seeing. The person that I'm focused on right now, hi baby. The person that I'm focused on right now that isn't like who I thought was my twin or whatever, that person is making progress and is making changes and is healing. So that's why I'm like, oh, I guess like I was wrong. So the general energy surrounding the emperor. So this is like now that we're realizing we need to release these old paradigms that I'm, I'm always alone, or I have to be with a specific person, or this is my identity, or whatever. We're releasing this. Now we have to rebuild. So assuming that the feminine does okay with this releasing process, now the masculine side of self will rebuild. You do that to yourself. You bury that in the couch yourself, and then she like sticks her bone like in the back of the couch cushion and then can't get it out and like barks at it. It's the only time of day she barks. She never ever barks any other time. All right, the masculine's headspace is the 4 of Swords. I am not surprised. And the heart space is the 7 of Cups. Upright, and I'm using the vice versa tarot today so we can see that on this side, the masculine has been completely confused and like overwhelmed and drowning in the feelings he has and in what he needs to choose, because he's got all these other options and he's like, oh, I don't know what to choose. Now we see what is making him feel so at a loss. There's the feminine at the center. and all these other options are around. And the masculine is here in this energy of sleeping or resting, or healing and having faith. And it's resting on the truth, which I think is a really interesting way of showing this. And there's grief. So the divine masculine right now is grieving that he allowed himself to entertain all these other options when all he really wanted was the divine feminine. And now he needs to rebuild from this place of grief at the choices that he made. His hidden assistance is that he thinks of himself as the divine masculine. So he is feeling a solid foundation beneath him. He is feeling in command of his emotions, but also connected to them. He is feeling like he has dominion. And that is also emphasized here. This is the Two of Wands in reverse. We could have seen this side where we're looking at the masculine who is holding his, this is usually a world, but it's actually the sun in his hand in this image. And then we see that the light of the sun is here, is reflected for him here in the clouds through this higher power. So this is a card about asking for something and waiting for it to be received. It's about restlessness, especially when we see it in its reversal, because it's a feeling of its time. So one of the things that will help the divine masculine is his restlessness to be the divine masculine, to embody who he truly is. And who he truly is not, a dirty old man, hopefully. Who he truly is something much more formidable than that. Somebody who has those baser, behaviors. And somebody who believes that what they've asked for, they will receive. So the first position is, what past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process? I love that Bowie's playing with Floyd the Pink Flamingo right now. Whenever she figures out how to get it to beep or whatever, she will be obsessed with doing that. So I apologize if she keeps doing that. Okay, so what past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process? We have the Nine of Wands in reverse and the Four of Wands in reverse. And it is very interesting because this card could have appeared like this, where we see the couple in the light, but instead they appear in shadow, okay? And this is a deep wounding and a refusal to heal, a refusal to kind of clean up the mess that would allow this to be out in the light. This can also be about a past marriage. So having had a very bad experience with a past marriage that has left this masculine wounded, and not having ever had stable foundations in his life, not ever seeing them, that being something that he was in the dark about, he didn't know how to have this kind of stable reciprocal love that really flows back and forth with that divine interplay, and having a victim mentality about that, being well, I didn't know how to love because my life was shit. And it's congratulations, man. Everybody's life for the most part has shit in it, and they have to still put on their big boy pants and be respectful and kind to others. You don't get a pass because you had a bad life. It's okay, I can give you understanding And I can give you compassion, but that doesn't exempt you from healing yourself. Like, you know, you got to go do it. And yeah, it's not fun, but like, it's not fun. So what? What can I do right now to build my confidence? Wow. The Three of Wands and well, technically it was this way, the Queen of Cups upright. Now, we already saw the Two of Wands in the headspace. So we're going from the Two of Wands now to the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is having patience and faith that something is coming, primarily because you can see that it is. And this is to rebuild your confidence. So this is to have faith. And then for the Queen of Cups, we see on the back there's this stork here. And here she is from the front of the throne. Now, the Queen of Cups in the tarot is one of the only queens that has a lid on her cup and protects her emotions and protects her feelings. And this is supposed to soothe the masculine. So I think this is saying, even though you cannot see the feminine, what she's doing, you can trust that she's protecting this love that she has for you, divine masculine. It is a protected love, but she needs a fresh outlook on it. She needs a new outlook on this, but she is protecting it. She's protecting it. And she's keeping a lid on her emotions right now. She is not overly emotionally reactive. So that can give you some confidence about rebuilding the connection. What possible future challenges could arise? The Lovers and the Seven of Wands in reverse. And this is why I love this deck, because here's the Seven of Wands from the front, and here's the Seven of Wands from the back. There is no one on the battlefield. It is an illusion. All of these wands are laying down at his feet. This comes after the Six of Wands. This person has already achieved victory. So there are no more battles to fight, but still they fight anyway. And there's a defensiveness that comes with the Seven of Wands. When we're in its reversal, it can mean not having healthy boundaries. And this is lovers with past lovers, past connections. So some of the shit that masculine did, like if this person that I focused on as my masculine is being so careless, like that's what really got me fired up. Is I'm like, if you're this whole time like, oh, I'm trying to protect you from this past energy who's like all this, which I now know is all bullshit, because if he's that careless that it could get back to me like that, then all of the people that he would quote unquote be protecting me from would be able to know that he was doing that shit. So that's a fucking bullshit. But all that shit, like all that messiness, if that has existed in his dynamic in the past, that is now gonna come back to haunt him potentially. It's like you don't make messes like that and not experience what divine feminine has soothing her. She's like, well, if he's a dog, then he's gonna have to eat his own shit. I'm gonna put that on a sweatshirt. If you're a dog, you'll end up eating your own shit. Oh my Lanta. Okay, let's see. What past behaviors have destabilized me? Interesting. Ace of Cups coming out with Justice card, which I just heard. And the Two of Swords in reverse. So divine feminine. This for me has to do with divine feminine. Divine feminine's clarity and wisdom her ability to discern the truth about the love that this masculine is offering, causing her to choose, basically, it could be a karmic, that the masculine withholding this cup of love or not giving this cup of love has chosen or feels that the feminine is going to choose a karmic partner or is going to engage in karmic partners, or his belief that, the feminine blocking him was not fair or unjust. Something about this really destabilized the masculine. And it's also like the truth about this cup that the feminine was offering and how he blocked it. Like that has really destabilized him. What can I do now to avoid this and stabilize? Oh my God. 3 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. Go public about this partnership. Like bring an offer of peace to the feminine to work with her. And not surprisingly, the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Stop feeling sorry for yourself inside of your fucking sanctuary when it's the feminine who's been outside in the cold the whole time. Like, release this fucking victimization bullshit. That's literally what's up here. You're not a victim. Unless you consider yourself the perpetrator of the crime, you're a victim of yourself. What future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? No shit. The 5 of Cups in reverse. This bullshit focus on sadness and how, oh, I spilled these cups and I did everything wrong and I'm wrong and I'm bad and I'm a dirty old man, which is exactly what I saw because that's what you believe about yourself. Like those types of things, like that gone. And instead, an optimism, a passion for what you desire, embracing what you desire, being able to help it lead you out of this darkness that you've been feeling. All right, let's do your oracles. Divine Feminine, we'll start with you. I invoke laughter. This is the only way I'm getting through my life right now, actually. And this is a Fool energy in this card, but it is about using your humor to get out of the limbic brain, which is the primal part of the brain. The primal part of the brain is responsible for fight or flight. It is a source of major stress and anxiety because it's the thing that prepares us to be able to like handle extremely stressful situations. It does not comprehend higher level brain functions such as humor. So when Divine Feminine can find ways to look at the situation and see it as ridiculous, let me tell you, my situation is absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot of funny things about it. If you can look at it and find a way to be lighthearted and just laugh about some of the ridiculous things that are going on, you will see a lot of the focus on the separation and the pain that you're experiencing dissipate. So invoke laughter, watch funny movies, hang out with funny people. Give me a call. I'll keep you laughing all night. But that will help take this focus off of the pain. New card today. The 7 Blessings of Eve. This is our healing card. It is the 7th card. Can't find the page. A spiritual gift shall enter your heart and manifest as a blessing in your life. You have innate talents and abilities which will support your soul into full, glorious manifestation. You have been blessed with a beautiful divine destiny to fulfill. You have natural healing ability. Choose your thoughts and words so they reflect what you truly wish to put out into the world because your influence is stronger and further reaching than you realize. Eve dwelled in the original paradise, the Garden of Eden. She is the mother of knowledge. From knowledge, wisdom can be developed. Wisdom is the egg of Sophia, the divine feminine power to be a birth mother of higher consciousness, to bring forth the light of loving awareness. Eve's oracle is not an omen of being cast out of paradise. It is a sign that a false view, which has been holding you captive, is going to give way to a greater understanding, which will empower you to be a bearer of the light, a priestess or a priest of the egg of Sophia. This oracle encourages you to seek the knowledge you need, to not be held captive by secrets or misinformation, and to know that from that knowledge you shall be able to shed false views, like a snake shedding its skin, and grow in wisdom. You shall know what you need to know and find your way in truth. The oracle also indicates a shift away from shame and confusion, perhaps feeling you have something to prove, or that you have to atone for a failing in this or other lifetimes. Soul is moving you toward a realization of the inherent goodness and grace that is your real nature. You are blessed. You are granted a unique, unrepeatable human life. Even if you believe in reincarnation, acknowledging the soul continues to grow over many lifetimes. There will only be one lifetime when you are this you. If you treasure this life, you will become bolder, more fearless, more willing to step up as your real self, more willing to engage in healing and say yes to what makes your heart sing. There is a rabbinic saying that every time a human being walks down the street, a choir of angels cries, make way, for the image of God is approaching." Loving humanity is not always easy, especially when the darker side of human nature causes such suffering. Yet there is much heroism, love, kindness, and nobility too. Look to the positive and open your heart to the best in yourself and those around you. Choose to see and nurture the spiritual light in yourself and others to the best of your ability. We are all growing and evolving in our own way. Even those who trouble your heart are doing best. Acknowledge that humans have limited capacities and deserve compassion, awakened spiritually nonetheless. Do not, however, allow yourself to become a doormat to anyone's ego games. Entrust the spiritual progress and protection of all beings to the divine feminine as you care for yourself and others as consciously as you. Certain numbers have a sacred significance that crosses religious and cultural boundaries. 7 is one such number with significance in Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Jainism, Buddhism, Baha'i, and the New Age. The spiritual power of 7 includes a natural charisma and capacity to be an influential channel for higher wisdom. The presence of 7 is a sign from the universe to reconnect to the sacred. The oracle of the 7 blessings of Eve is a reminder that you are a sacred being and have no need to hold yourself hostage to shame, blame, guilt, anger, judgment, or fear. Acknowledge your connection to spiritual knowledge. Pray, and your prayers shall be answered. Dang, I don't usually read the whole card, but I felt called to do that because it had a lot of super important messages for me. Okay, I hope that helped you. Now, here is the daily practice I recommend for the feminine. This is coming from a healing touch deck for energy therapy for self-care. And it says Self-Chakra Connection. Begin by opening either foot chakra by holding the foot position and then hold each position for 1 minute or until you sense increased flow, balance, or vibrancy in this area. So I'll hold this up so you can see the image and take a screenshot if you want to. But the meaning for me for this, of this daily practice, is chakra alignment. So you can actually do the motions in this, touch these parts of yourself and open up the chakras. And you can do this physical thing every day, but you can also just energetically get this sense of the energy flowing through you and the alignment that you're seeking, and just be centered and think about that. you can use sound healing to get into alignment. There's so many different things, but some kind of an alignment practice on a daily basis. And your theme this week is the Hermit. The Hermit. Now, what's so interesting is I got a message before I went out, like that day, that was like, stay in your Hermit energy. And I went out, but I realized that when I was out, after finding out this piece of information, I was both there and present, and also like within myself, like inside of myself, sort of assessing what was going on outside and what had just happened with what I had received from that friend who told me this. And she also did not know that this person was significant to me. Like, she did not know that I considered him my twin. She did not know that we had like any type of a history. She literally only vaguely associated my name with him because I had like a vague connection, but there was no reason for her to stop herself from telling me what she said. It was fun moment for me. Anyway, yeah, so I had to maintain my Hermit energy because I could not really reveal to the people around me what was really going on. So I actually did stay in my Hermit energy even when I'm out. So keep in mind that is true. This card doesn't always mean, oh, you have to stay alone. It means that you need to stay in that soul searching, like look for that light, like, and follow that light within, and look for the places where you are seeing the tension that you're experiencing, and ask yourself gently, like, where does this come from? Okay, masculine, let's do your oracles. You are receiving, I converse with awareness. Bet you do now. Oh God. I'm actually going to pull the book for this one because I want to get a little more depth from this card. But this, I think, for the most part, is that you are really aware that what you're saying, how you're talking about a situation, it is creating that reality. And it is 33. Of course. Yes. Conversation is an art form. We are awake because we are alive, but being awake and being aware are not really the same things. Our senses allow awareness to integrate with understanding when we utilize our own idealized intelligence in how we communicate, express, and converse with all we meet, not just friends or those in our inner circle. The circle of awareness and relationship expands by direct experience, and when we navigate all conversations and relationships with the mindset of a forever student, we may reveal potent lessons by the questions we choose to ask and how we actively listen to the answers communicated. Emotions are a universal language, and how our emotions affect conversation can either produce intimacy or push others away. Self-awareness is a necessity for a disciple of evolutionary dialogue. Wow, that I feel is very powerful. Mute the mind that wants to make a point to make noise, and take note of where there's room for growth by seeking a conversational melody that balances the exchange of ideas, imagination, emotion, and intellect with a harmony of artistically idealized conversational conscious awareness. So be aware of what you are speaking about, aware of who you are talking to, aware of how you're communicating, and actually communicate. And understand that the feminine is speaking truth. This is the throat chakra, and this bird here is more communication for me. Feminine is saying, divine masculine is true. For your healing, you are getting the Pearl of Sorrow. This is number 35. Taking responsibility for your experiences empowers you. You are going to resolve an issue through spiritual inspiration and higher guidance. You will rise up in full connection to your spirit and access a wealth of divine treasure. That which has brought darkness into your world shall submit to the light and be transformed. Have courage and commitment to your awakening, for you are a precious being and can go far on the spiritual path this lifetime. This oracle has emerged in your reading because you have the capacity to become a light bearer. Safeguard your energy, yet trust that the light within is strong enough to see you through any struggle and eventually transform it into a precious pearl of sacred empowerment. You have wisdom in your divinely alchemical heart. You shall arise with dignity. Divine Masculine, your daily practice is to nourish your body. It says, nurture yourself today by eating a balance of delicious, healthy foods that support your body. So you can really nourish yourself this week with foods. When we do that, we show self-love so much. Think about the most loving gesture for a parent to have is to feed their children. Your theme for this week, Divine Masculine, is the 9 of Cups. This is wish fulfillment. It is also about hoarding your expression and your abundance and not being willing to share it and being selfish with it, and about releasing that energy and actually giving yourself the wishes you seek and sharing those wishes, the wish fulfillment with others. All right, we are at the final oracles for the union. Please go to pearlsprayers.com and click on Tuned In Tarot for options to book with me, personal readings. Remember, this is a collective reading, highly influenced by my experiences. I am really reading. I started these readings because I wanted to read for my person. And whenever I try to read for myself, I wouldn't be able to do it. But when I read for others collectively, then I could go back and get the messages from them, and it would be less about my ego. So, but it's still part of, it's very heavily my energy that is pulled here with an intention for those in the collective who share this energy to come here when they need to receive it. But for a personal reading, you should definitely go to pearlsprayers.com, and I would do it in the next week or so. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up, and I'm going to have, after Christmas, less options for virtual readings. It's just going to be pre-recorded mostly. So now take advantage of the current prices. What are you doing? Thank you. You can clean the toilet later. Find a different toy. I'm almost done. Go eat your food. Lost my train of thought. But anyway, yeah, so you can book personal readings there. You can also see all my social media links, the music that I have made as Pearl in the Prayers. Please go listen to that and share that. Like and subscribe and do all the things you can to help. And you can also just click support to send a gratuity, or you can send me a deck. All those links are below. And now I shall finish the reading. But first I'm going to go close the bathroom door because I really don't want her to get into any more toilet bowl cleaners. So pardon me. Come on, take my bed. Okay. Get Floyd. I am open to love in various forms. So right now, the twins are in separation. And they have been seeking this love and to come together. And it's not working. And it's because of these wounds that they have and the wounds that they trigger within one another. But every time that they seek love, no matter where they seek it from, whether it's through each other or through their friendships or their family or through new people because they aren't ready for one another, however that works, there needs to be this awareness that it comes in many forms. It is not just in this one avenue that you can experience love. It is not just in romantic love that you can experience love either. You can experience so much love through your friendships, and a lot of times romantic love suffers because there are no friendships there when they start. They're not built until down the line, or sometimes never, and those relationships fail. But it's love that you are open to, and it comes in many ways. And then you're getting Lasya of Parvati, which we actually got before. This is card 32. There is a gentler way to proceed and obtain the same or even greater effect. Tame the wild and frenzied workings of the mind by grounding yourself with beauty, pleasure, and grace. Violence and its negative effects shall be overcome and healed through feminine gentleness and inner spiritual strength. This oracle is a sign of great future happiness. We can trust that the Divine Mother loves us and responds to what is needed, but also knows how to get things done without being more heavy-handed than necessary. She is genuinely moved by our suffering and will manifest in whatever forms are needed to heal. Her oracle asks you to invoke her and trust what transpires is for your healing and spiritual fulfillment. Give up the notion that the deepest issues require the most difficult path to heal. Let her Lasya dance of happiness and grace unveil a gentler and more loving way. It's a beautiful card. I really did feel very cradled yesterday when I was devastated, because I really was devastated. I haven't been that devastated in a long time. I was just devastated because I was just like, it's over. I can't possibly go on like holding space for this person. So that space that I had holding is gone. There's no space left, but it was painful to let that space go. But I did it. I deleted everything. There isn't a single thing left. There's no evidence. So that person never has to worry about it. I won't ever speak of it again. Daily practice. Spend time in nature. This will heal you this week, the two of you. Spend half an hour in nature today or every day. Visit a neighborhood park, your backyard, the local botanical gardens, or take a walk in the woods. What magic does this season hold? Find a comfortable spot to sit. Close your eyes and breathe in your surroundings. Breathe out any distractions, congestions, or stress. That is your healing practice, if you want a screenshot. And then your theme for this week is the devil. So this is not withholding pleasure from yourself. Remember, Divine Feminine, the thing that is going to help you release is to not withhold pleasure, to have fun, to date, to see other people, and commit to yourself, commit to your own happiness, and not be overly focused on this one masculine who is not ready to commit. The shadow of the card that needs to be worked on is the karmic energy. So for the masculine, so for the feminine, it is to allow herself to experience pleasure because she's been withholding pleasure, which causes resentment because the masculine doesn't withhold pleasure. In fact, he engages in pleasure that he associates shame with. So he's actually not experiencing pleasure either because he's doing shameful things. Like, he should feel ashamed by how I found out and what I found out in the case of my masculine person. That person should absolutely feel ashamed of themselves. That is shameful. It is. It just is. On someone else's bed when you're over half a century old? Are you fucking serious? And just discreet and not to care, not to be considerate about the person that he was using, because sending pictures of engagement rings to me. How? So acting shamefully towards himself, towards the person he was shameful with, and towards me, towards the feminine energy. So that stuff can't be there. It can't be there. He can't have that kind of mixed, untempered energy if he wants to be able to achieve balance and union. And yeah, good luck with whoever he finds, this person that I've been focused on, to do that with. It won't be me, because there's no way. I mean, also, I don't think he's ever going to communicate to me, so it definitely won't be me. But yeah, that would take a lot of explaining, and I'm sure that's why he hasn't come forward, because he's been doing shit like that the whole time. So you don't want to come up and take responsibility for that, because it's embarrassing and humiliating and disrespectful. And he knows that I would feel the way that I felt. Although, again, I think I would have felt less triggered by what he did, because I honestly don't care about people having sex. They need to have sex. It's fine. I think that what I would have been most, or what I'm most triggered about, is that I was not respected by being told. And if you're not ready to commit to me, then don't send me pictures of rings. That's it. Like, period. I don't need that. Like, I don't need to be like, what would you do that for, except to make sure that I wasn't doing exactly what you were already doing? And, the joke's on you, because I was never doing those things, because I was respecting and loving myself. And I made a commitment not to have sexual energy that wasn't sacred. So I never would have been doing that. And I never would have been like forced or manipulated into not being sexual. I would have chosen that because that's like what is valuable to me. So it's a mess. Like, it's a mess that the masculine has made. It doesn't really look like it's going to be cleaned up anytime soon. So I can only assume that that person is not my match, because my match is cleaning up their messes, achieving mastery, not afraid to communicate. Like, all the things that I'm doing, I don't see coming from that person. So I believe that I must be focused on somebody that is a false twin, because there's no indication of change or anything. So you'll have to suss out that for yourself with your person or the individual in your life, but primarily your work is to learn unconditional love, not unconditional tolerance. And I certainly will never tolerate that kind of humiliation from a person in my life, ever. So, that's how you suss this out. I hope that you got a lot of perspective on my ego and my love life and your own while you were here today. And I hope that it helps you. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. Thank you for working so hard on yourself, because you making these changes and you shifting and you learning unconditional love is having ripple effects for me and everyone around us, because it really does change how people perceive each other and one another and how they interact in their relationships. It's very powerful messages from the divine, and I'm thankful that you allow me to share them with you. So thanks for trusting me with these messages. And if you would like personal ones, go ahead and book them. I will see you tomorrow. Let me double check the time, because Sin just messaged me, but we will be doing live TikTok, an hour of free readings, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 12:30 p.m. Pacific Coast Time tomorrow. And we will do an hour on TikTok where you can ask us questions, and then an hour on Instagram where we will check into the divine feminine and masculine energy. And then we will do a choose your own personal reading. So you'll actually get a free personal reading tomorrow. You just choose which stone you would like to focus on. And then I'll be back on Sunday for the Tell Me Everything spread. And I know you all are anxious for that one because you didn't get it yesterday. But did y'all hear my TikToks yesterday? Holy I was super hungover. That was a lot of that. You know what? It was like I was doing fine. I had a couple of nice gin drinks. Everything would have been fine. And then somebody brings a tequila shot. Just the one. Then I was drunk enough that I was like, oh, there's another drink someone's handing me. And there's a drink and there's a drink. And then there was so many drinks that was all mixed up, and that was always a bad idea. So not fun for me. But if I'm only doing that like once in a while, we're okay. If this starts to be a weekly thing, we got a problem, because I hate alcohol. I do not like it. All right, everybody, take care. I shall see you on the flip side. I hope you all have the most amazing day today. And thank you, Lena and Gina and Tori and Elevated and Sarah and Elizabeth. I know you're in there somewhere. And I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.